Hey everyone, Dockwell here, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a Medusa build for patch 7.33D, and like I said in the other ones, I have a hero guide for every single hero. You might have some trouble finding it. I'm still trying to figure that out. Hopefully that'll be resolved soon, but if you do have trouble finding it, you can't find it, just click the link below in the description or the comment that I pinned below, and you should be able to go to the Steam Workshop and subscribe to me there and follow me there, and then they should show up in your feed so that you can use them, and then give them a thumbs up if you use them and you like them. Because they should be very good, help you stomp your pubs, because that's kind of how I tailored them. I also have unique, interesting ones. Like I said, Lion Mid is the one that I always say that I have, that I feel like no one else really made a guide for that. So I have ones like that, which are unique, that people don't really use, but they are semi-viable strats, maybe for fun, but still, maybe in an unranked game you want to do that, so that's how you can do that. So now let's just jump into the Medusa build, and I don't play much Medusa, but Medusa, I just have to make a build for this hero, like a build guide for this hero, because this hero is straightforward, it's easy, it's the broken hero of the patch. I don't necessarily think you need to understand or know much about this hero, because it's really straightforward and simple, but I'm going to make one anyway, just to let you know if you don't understand what the hero does. It's pretty easy, actually, to understand what the hero does, so let's just get into the item builds. Actually, this hero is all about just having infinite mana. So you just start off straight up Magic Wand. You just buy the Magic Wand, and then you just get stats. You don't need anything else. You don't need regen, because this hero doesn't have health. This hero has base 200 health, or whatever the crazy, whatever that shit is. So you have 200 health. All you do is you just need mana. So you just want stick, because any spell that anyone casts, you want to have a Magic Wand that allows you to have more charges to get more mana. And it restores health as well, but it's mainly mana you're going to want to be restoring. And then that's why you're also going to be going Ring of Basilius first, because that's just going to help you have more mana in lane. So that is pretty much the starting items. You just go this, and then you go Ring of Basilius. And then straight up from here, you're going straight into your carry items. You're going for Power Treads. Pretty obvious, pretty straightforward. Most carries buy this. And then you're going for Yasha as your early game item. So these early game items, this is what you're going for. This is kind of the first thing you're going for as an early game item that you might have in the lane as well. Then straight up from there, you're going to instantly complete your Manta style every single time. It's really good on this hero. Now, you mainly use this Manta for split pushing and farming. What you want to be doing is you want to be using Manta off cooldown. You just press Manta, and you A-click your Manta illusions down a wave, down a creep wave, and they will just farm the creep wave for you with the split shot. That's what you want to be doing every single time this Manta is available. Now, obviously, later on in the game, when you're getting ganked, or they're fighting or whatever, or pushing a tower or anything like that, you can use Manta to dispel and all that kind of stuff. That's great. But really, in the early game, when you're just farming for the first 20 minutes or whatever, you mainly use Manta to push waves. That's how you want to use the item. Use it to kind of make space for yourself, so that you push the wave ahead of yourself. You farm the jungle behind the wave you're pushing, because they have to deal with the wave first before they come gank you. So that's kind of what you do with Manta. That's the main reason you buy it. And then next, honestly, you just straight up go Butterfly, because the main way that people do damage to you to get your health down and your mana down is by right clicking you with Diffusal. That's the main way you're gonna counter this hero. If you don't have, if the enemy doesn't have a Diffusal buyer, or anti-mage, it's just over, honestly. Half the time it's just over, because you just can't die. You just don't die to spells on this hero, unless it's insane pure or insane spell damage, or insane high right-click damage. You're just losing so badly that the enemy has so much damage, so much lockdown, that you can't sustain yourself, which is very rare, but it does happen. That's why you buy Butterfly, because now this evasion, no one's going to have MKB this early. Nobody's going to want to buy that, and now you're just unkillable, and you do more damage as well. So next, after that, you're always basically going to be buying Eye of Scotty. Just makes you tankier, makes you slow more, just gives you everything you want on the hero. It's just absolutely insane. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, pretty obvious why Eye of Scotty's good. Now, I will say this. Before I get to the late game, last two items in the late game I have here are Agnum Shard and Agnum Scepter. Ag Scepter is more of the kind of weird utility, off-lane support Medusa thing, but you can mix this in if you need to. I would definitely mix in a Shard. Maybe even after Manta, after Butterfly, if the enemy has a lot of single target spells. They're just hitting you with a lot of single target like hexes or anything like that, they're locking you down a ton, and that's how you feel like you're going to die. Or they just have a lot of single target spells at all that they're going to be using on you. I would just get this because it's obviously going to give you more mana and just make you more sustainable, even harder to kill when they try to lock you down. So definitely consider incorporating that in. Maybe don't get the Ag Scepter too soon. I would still probably try to get all 3 of these items, but depending on the game, I may get Ags next if I feel like I'm doing enough damage with these items and I don't need like just straight up going Daedalus. And that's what you're going to do after you have these items, is you're just going to go Daedalus for raw damage. Like I said in all the other guides, all the other builds, you go MKB if you're against a PA or a Wind Ranger or something like that if you really need it. But for the most part, you're just going to be able to go Daedalus and just like melt people then, because now you're tanky, now you're unkillable, and now you're melting people and buildings with the Daedalus. And if you get to the point where you have all these items and Daedalus, you probably won the game, to be honest. That's just how like Medusa works. If you didn't like lose your whole base and you got Daedalus, you probably won. Then you can buy BKB if you really, really need it. Honestly, you don't need it that often because you have your ult, you have all these get out of jail free cards, but BKB is one of those things where it's like, hey, they have a lot of AoE lockdown. I need BKB just to like get me out of sticky situations to turn the fight. That's kind of why you buy BKB, and a lot of times you can just buy that later in the game, but you can skip it if you need to. It's the reason why I didn't put it in situational is because it is one of these things that people buy it a lot on the hero, and it is kind of standard. But it's basically what you want to be buying in any, it's like your main defensive item that isn't like also damage, you know, because this is defensive, but it's mainly damage. This is defensive, but it's also damage, you know, it's also damage and farming. So that's late game. That's kind of what you're going to be building on the hero almost every time. Then you can also buy Shadowblade, Silver Edge. This is like an alternate to Daedalus because it does damage. You need a break maybe. And you just need that little bit of like able to skirt the outsides of the fight. Like you just don't feel like you can just go straight in because maybe they do have a good diffusal buyer. Maybe they do have an anti-mage, and you need to be a little bit safer about when you go in and how you actually play. Dragonlance and Hurricane Pike because you really need to like get yourself away from somebody like an anti-mage or something like that. This can be a situational buy for more defensive purposes. Blink is another one where I think this can be like good if you are against some kind of anti-mage because you don't want to go like straight stats a lot of times because you just want to kind of be able to get in and out of the fight, and the more mana you have, although that's really good for you, the worse it is for you like in the long run when anti-mage is burning your mana. But that's kind of more the old Medusa. The new Medusa, just like it doesn't really matter. Either he's burning your mana or not. But this is just like more mobility. You feel like you need to chase people down because you are very slow. So just consider that with the Blink and Swift Blink. These are all, like I said, very situational. Moonshard, Giga late game item, just absolutely ridiculous. Damage, like if you get to this point, you're probably winning. Lincoln Sphere, if there's like a Doom or something like that, so even Doom doesn't really affect you that much, but if there's that single target spell, like Duel or something like that you really need to block. Divine Rapier, if you're like trying to fight against Megas, you know, you just need that one last little thing to be like, okay, if I don't die again, I win the game, we can push, we can end the game super quick. Satanic is a really good one to like man up on people if you need to do that. And I just put some other things in here. You can buy them. They're very rare. You can buy Revenant's Brooch if you're against very specific heroes that you need to like hit them during a Ghost Scepter or something like that. You can even buy a Diffusal Blade. I've seen people do that before as well. Like that's possible on this hero. Refresher is even possible for your ultimate really, really late game. And then this item, I always forget what this item is called. Aeon Disc. Or no, not Aeon Disc. Oh my goodness, dude. I'm always, for some reason, why do I always forget what this item is called? Like every single time. Oh yeah, Nullifier. I don't know why I forget what Nullifier is called every time. Nullifier, obviously, same kind of thing. It's almost like Revenant's Brooch, similar, but like Revenant's Brooch is like more, this is also an attack speed damage item, but like this is also a damage item too. So whatever, you can get either one, honestly. But yeah, you can get Nullifier if people are like using a lot of force stats, just like running away from you. They're getting kited a lot. And so that's the item build. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple actually, because you're just going to be getting this a lot. And if you getting these items a lot, and if you get these items, if you actually manage to get to the point where you have like Daedalus, you're just going to win. Next we have the skill build here, which is going to be, you're just going to be maxing out Snake. Pretty straightforward. You're going to put 1 point in Mana Shield. You don't even need more points in Mana Shield, honestly. Like, it's just that good. The hero is that good. And you're going to be farming so quickly with Snake, because this is your main thing you're going to be doing damage with and getting mana back in the lane. You're going to be farming so quickly with Snake and then maxing out Split Shot that, like, you'll get to these high levels where you max out your Mana Shield late enough that, like, it doesn't even matter that you didn't max it early. I'm saying you don't take your ultimate to later levels just because you want to be maxing out your farming abilities and your like mana return ability. But you can take this like level 6 if you desperately need to, because you feel like you're just going to get in sticky situations where you have to press it to run away. And that's fine, you know, if you're getting pressured a lot and stuff like that. But you don't necessarily always need to take it at level 6. And then you can like, that's why you're delaying even your like, even your talent here. So that's how you build Medusa basically, and then from there on you're just going to be taking these abilities when you can. And then for talent tree, basically you want to be getting this Mystic Snake turn and move speed slow, because that's just going to help you like lock people down more, because basically the one weakness of the hero is either mana burn obviously, but getting kited. So this just helps you not get kited as much, where this is not as reliable, so you don't necessarily want to take that. Plus early on it's not as big of a deal, where this can just, it can help you farm too. It's not like more damage, but it just like helps the creeps like not move as much to attack you, so you lose as much mana, that kind of stuff. And then split shot damage penalty, just like reduction on that to help you farm as well, to help you do more damage as well. You can also take this one, but this is more of like utility build. This is more of the like straight up carry build. And that's the same thing here. Mystic Snake Balances, that's more of the utility build. This Stone Gaze Duration is more of the like straight up hard carry build, because this is not only going to help when you're like turning people to stone, it's just your ultimate is the big like team fight, get out of jail free, but also like turn everyone to stone and kill them kind of ability that you use later in the game. And then split shot uses modifiers. That's just obvious because you're going to have Scotty, you're going to have Daedalus, all this kind of stuff. So you just want these modifiers to be able to be applied to your split shot. Once you hit 25, like if you hit 25 in Daedalus, like you're going to win the game. Like that's just going to happen every time. This is good, but it's just not nearly as good. Like this just allows you to do more damage because you're already tanky. That's what you do. So these things just help you be more tanky, but you don't necessarily need to be more tanky. You just need to do more damage. And that's why we take all these like damage talents that help you not get kited or do more damage. So that's how you play Medusa. And that's Medusa in a nutshell. You probably already knew a lot about that, but it's straightforward. It's pretty simple, but that's basically how we think about Medusa conceptually and how we play the hero, how we build the hero in this patch. So that is my Medusa build for 7.33D. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.